The Boston Bruins have just helped secure their future with the loss against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But in this game, Jeremy Swayman had a few quotes calling out the rest of the team after this game. We're going to be talking about that, as well as how the Boston Bruins are securing these future, losing these couple of games in this video. Before we get into it, though, we have another word from Hot Takes, as today is the selection day to pick your teams. We are kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel, and we partner with Hot Takes app and the other Digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. All you have to do is go and join the Hot Takes app, click the March Madness banner at the top, and under groups, select the Digest Media Pool. This is very exciting, as there's over $25,000 in prizes to be won, and since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance in winning big compared to those other bracket challenges that are out there. Check out the link below or scan the QR code to go and download the app. And make sure to use the code DIGEST in all capitals to get all your exclusive rewards when signing in. And again, it's completely free, and you have a serious chance to win big. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys here in this March Madness bracket. And if you do need a hand or have any trouble signing in, be sure to reach out to the email down below, and we'll get you all sorted out there. Thank you, Hot Takes, once again. And remember, just a little bit after this video, once you sign up, you can now make your picks for the March Madness bracket. Be sure to do so. You get to win a lot of money. But without any further ado, let's get into this and kind of go over why this video is titled this. Because the Boston Bruins have, of course, had a very big struggle after the 2 wins against the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning after the beginning of the NHL trade deadline. But now looking at this team has stunk since. We've seen some positives, and looking at the Boston Bruins' future with what the picks they have, where they're going to get a pick here in this season after selling at the deadline, they could seriously set themselves up for a very good next season and a very quick rebuild. But I want to touch on the game here first. Looking at the NHL stat card, or the hockey stat card from XM, let me look at this one. This was a horrible game. That Parker Wotherspoon, Ian Mitchell third line of defense was absolutely terrible. But as I've been saying, with the Bruins situation right now, the injuries they have, how this team is really trying to go about the rest of the season, the players have mentioned they want to win. Nobody wants to lose, but this team setting them up this way, there's really no chance they win many games now for the rest of the season. But when we do look at the top of this list, Marat Kuznetsov, another goal coming out of him, and Elias Lindholm, a goal from him as well. They had a bit of success on that third line, but that was just about it. It was probably the worst second period I think I've seen Boston Bruins hockey in quite some time, for sure. And this season really was told kind of storyline by that second period. And I do want to pull up the box score here as well and kind of look at the way that we're looking at this team here now. And of course, as I mentioned, Kuznetsov and Elias Lindholm, a goal for them. Jacob Lauko an assist, and Elias Lindholm an assist as well. But for the most part, that is really it. As well, Andrew Peeke, Henry Okihara getting some assists. But when we look at the rest of this team, and kind of the players that have been around here, and this is something I've been saying for quite some time now, it is really not a playoff team at all, and there's no chance of it really at this point. They're still not out of it yet in the points race, total overall. But the way that this team has been playing, the way the lineups have been built, kind of the way the other teams have been playing as well around us, has really secured that this Bruins team is going to be getting a pretty good pick on this NHL draft. And of course, this is some of the first years the Bruins have actually had some decent picks, and this is why the Bruins have a great opportunity here to be able to at least come out here, find some great options in the draft, and prepare for next season. Get some players that, may be able to help them right away. We have guys like Markov, Lysell that I feel like I've been talking about for so long that have done absolutely nothing just because they've not been given the chance at the NHL level. And at this point, it's going to be a matter of time until we see them up. We see a lot of players down in the AHL now. Matt Poitras being sent down. A lot of reactions being that sending some of your better players down to the AHL will secure not just development for them. We've seen Matthew Poitras play much better at the AHL level. Lysell needs an option at the NHL. That's just something that is getting a bit concerning from a Boston Bruins fan standpoint at this point. But those players down there will hopefully get the Providence Bruins a Calder Cup, but also just give them a lot more time to develop ahead of next season, when we know that Markov and Poitras are two that will likely be full-time next season in the NHL, and hopefully Lysell, but we still, once again, as I mentioned, no idea what is going to be happening with him. But as we kind of pull into this game, we look at, the team in general, but also the goaltending. Things have not been great from that point, and we can look at the lines here first and kind of go to Jeremy Swayman after. Like I said, these lines are not NHL lines. These are not lines that will win you games, that will get you to a playoff spot. These are lines that you see teams in the bottom quarter of the NHL use, in the 32 to 26 range. That's this lineup. You have some great players here, of course, but you can't rely on just a few players to win you a game. It's not basketball. It's not any of those sports like that where you can have one good player and go from there. This team needs everybody rolling, and that has just not been the case this year. But as we look at Jeremy Swayman once again, I don't want to put the full blame on him either, but he has certainly not been playing well at all this year. A 20-23-6 record, 3 goals against, an .897 save percentage with 4 shutouts. It has not really been great. Now, 4 shutouts, of course, is tied for third in the NHL. Not too bad, but when you're looking at everything else, that's what really matters. I don't care about a shutout. I need to see some reasonable, decent stats that can tell me that, you can rely on your goalie to win a game if need be. Now, you haven't really needed that. Jeremy Swayman hasn't been able to provide that this season, but it has been a part where, you're missing your leadership. You're missing a lot of stuff on this team. Solid defense, a lot of injuries, and also having Jeremy Swayman in his first year as a full-time goalie. And so I wanted to pull up here before we get into the stats, his quotes for Jeremy Swayman about this game. When we're looking at Jeremy Swayman already this season, has had more games played, more games started than every other season. And, we're still not too far away from the NHL season end, but we have been quite a bit of time here in this season that we're gonna have to see him in more games. And 49 right now, you see the stats not really lining up. But when you look over the past few seasons, when he's been splitting time with Linus Ullmark, he's been excellent. And I think that this is just gonna be a season where we need to adjust to this, and this is gonna be the season to do it. First of all, where the team is not playing great, but also you can actually see how much you're capable of playing with. And I think that's gonna be a big thing for Swayman going forward in the upcoming seasons with him under this new $8 million, 8-year, $66 million contract going over what will hopefully be another quick rebuild turnaround next season. Now, Jeremy Swayman was not afraid to speak out here in this game, and they said this to start at the end of the game. Nobody respects us, and that's something that we need to get behind. I think that we can do it. We just have to keep ourselves to a standard that has been met every game, and that has been something that we need to work on. He goes to say that and also continues on with, it's a standard led by example, and that's all that we can do. That's all we can do. The guys that have been in there for a while, seeing the right guys do it, that's what we're here for. It's been my job. It's been all of these other guys' jobs that have been here, and seeing the right leaders do it to continue the standard that's built here. We're not going to let it slip on our watch, and that's what Jeremy Swayman had to say about the end of this game. And of course, kind of discussing the lack of leadership, not because they don't have any. They have a lot of guys doing it, but when you trade your captain, when you get rid of a few of these guys here on this team that have held an A at some point, like Charlie Coyle, I'll do it when there's an injury around, you're losing a lot of these veteran voices and a lot of leadership in this room, and now you're going to have to see some new guys step up, and that's going to be a thing for the rest of the season to really determine who can be this captain, who can be this leadership group for the next generation of Boston Bruins players. And when you're at the point you are in the season now, there's a lot of things that you're going to be able to try that you may not have had the opportunity to before. And when we come to the standings right here, the Bruins are currently in 23rd. And as I mentioned, they're not necessarily counted out of the playoffs, but as a fan, as just watching this team and, talking about this team every day, I do very much hope that we see this team really acknowledge what is going on, take a step back, and, obviously I do not want to see the Boston Bruins lose, but when we're looking at the teams here behind this Boston Bruins team, we're looking at the teams ahead, it's going to be a very tough ride to be able to get them into a playoff spot and find success in the playoffs, but also looking at the picks that we have this year, next year, and the year after. The Bruins have a great opportunity to change things up very quickly, and not many teams have that opportunity. And looking up these picks, looking at the first rounder this year, that what we're looking at right now is 9th overall in a few other, mock drafts and whatnot. Can get a great player there. You have 2 second rounders. If the Bruins are bad enough, that second rounder of their own could almost become a first rounder in a sense of being a very, very high second round pick. And then next year, 2 first round picks, and the year after, another first rounder with 2 seconds. The Bruins have a great opportunity to be able to, not just you pick those picks, because we know that the Bruins have not picked great over the past few years, but use those picks, trade those picks, bargain with those picks. There's so many opportunities you can do with a great amount of draft value, and that's what the Bruins have here. So I want to know what you guys think here about all of this, kind of Bruins news, I guess. It's interesting to look at this team in a perspective of wanting them to lose, I guess we could say, which is something that I never thought I would say. But looking at this team, looking at the way that the season's played out, it is in the best interest of this team to really go out here, get a great draft pick. So let me know what you think about it. What do you think about Jeremy Swayman's quotes as well here? Kind of calling out the Bruins team. I guess we could say it without really directly saying it, and his stats haven't been great. So let me know what you think about those as well. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. And remember, you can make your picks very, very soon on Hot Takes to go and win yourself some money. So be sure to do that. It's a very great opportunity here, and I'm very much looking forward to March Madness for probably the first time in my life. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.